Hello everyone. Today we are going to start a new series where I will review NASCAR Cup Series paint schemes. Every week I will post a video on the paint schemes for that week's race. Today we will react to paint schemes at Sonoma because this week is the Toyota Save Mart 350. So let's begin. Ross Chastain will drive the number 1 Worldwide Express Chevrolet. This is the second time this year that Ross Chastain will run this paint scheme. Austin Cindric will drive the number 2 Discount Tire Ford. This is the 6th time this year that Austin Cindric will run this paint scheme. Austin Dillon will drive the number 3 True Velocity Chevrolet. This is the first time this year that Austin Dillon will run this paint scheme. Kevin Harvick will drive the number 4 Gear Wrench Ford. This is the second time this year that Kevin Harvick will run this paint scheme. Kyle Larson will drive the number 5 HendrickCars.com Chevrolet. This is the 6th time this year that Kyle Larson will run this paint scheme. Brad Keselowski will drive the number 6 Kohler Power Reserve Ford. This is the first time this year that Brad Keselowski will run this paint scheme. Corey LaJoie will drive the number 7 Gnarly Premium Cut Jerky Chevrolet. This is the first time this year that Corey LaJoie will run this paint scheme. Tyler Reddick will drive the number 8 Lenovo Chevrolet. This is the second time this year that Tyler Reddick will drive this paint scheme. Chase Elliott will drive the number 9 Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet. This is the 5th time this year that Chase Elliott will run this paint scheme. Eric Almirola will drive the number 10 Farmer John /Food Max Ford. This is the first time this year that Eric Almirola will run this paint scheme. Denny Hamlin will drive the number 11 FedEx Freight Toyota. This is the 14th time this year that Denny Hamlin will run this paint scheme. Ryan Blaney will drive the number 12 Menards /Knopf Ford. This is the first time this year that Ryan Blaney will run this paint scheme. Chase Briscoe will drive the number 14 Ford Performance Racing School Ford. This is the first time this year that Chase Briscoe will be running this paint scheme. Joey Hand will drive the number 15 Built Ford Proud Ford. This is the first time this year that Joey Hand will run this paint scheme. AJ Allmendinger will run the number 16 Goldfish Casino Slots Chevrolet. This is the second time this year that AJ Allmendinger will run this paint scheme. Chris Buescher will drive the number 17 Fifth Third Bank Ford. This is the second time this year that Chris Buescher will run this paint scheme. Kyle Busch will drive the number 18 M&M's Crunchy Cookie Toyota. This is the 7th time this year that Kyle Busch will run this paint scheme. Martin Truex Jr. will drive the number 19 Bass Pro Shops Toyota. This is the 9th time this year that Martin Truex Jr. will run this paint scheme. Christopher Bell will drive the number 20 DeWalt Toyota. This is the 9th time this year that Christopher Bell will run this paint scheme. Harrison Burton will drive the number 21 Dex Imagining Ford. This is the 7th time this year that Harrison Burton will run this paint scheme. Joey Logano will drive the number 22 Auto Trader Ford. This is the first time this year that Joey Logano will run this paint scheme. Bubba Wallace will drive the number 23 DoorDash Toyota. This is the second time this year that Bubba Wallace will run this paint scheme. William Byron will drive the number 24 RaptorTough.com Chevrolet. This is the 5th time this year that William Byron will run this paint scheme. Justin Haley will drive the number 31 Leaf Filter Gutter Protection Chevrolet. This is the 16th time this year that Justin Haley will run this paint scheme. Michael McDowell will drive the number 34 Love's Travel Stops Ford. This is the 6th time this year that Michael McDowell will run this paint scheme. Todd Gilliland will drive the number 38 Chicago Pneumatic Compressors Ford. This is the first time this year that Todd Gilliland will run this paint scheme. Cole Custer will drive the number 41 Autodesk/HaasTooling.com Ford. This is the second time this year that Cole Custer will run this paint scheme. Ty Dillon will drive the number 42 Allegiant Chevrolet. This is the second time this year that Ty Dillon will run this paint scheme. Eric Jones will drive the number 43 Focus Faster Chevrolet. This is the 13th time this year that Eric Jones will run this paint scheme. Kurt Busch will drive the number 45 Monster Energy Toyota. This is the 10th time this year that Kurt Busch will run this paint scheme. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. will drive the number 47 Kroger/Continental Chevrolet. This is the first time this year that Ricky Stenhouse Jr. will run this paint scheme. Alex Bowman will drive the number 48 Ally Better Together Chevrolet. This is the first time this year that Alex Bowman will run this paint scheme. Cody Ware will drive the number 51 Nortec ODT Ford. This is the second time this year that Cody Ware will run this paint scheme. Josh Balicki will drive the number 77 Pacific Coast Termite Chevrolet. This is the second time this year that Josh Balicki will run this paint scheme. Daniel Suarez will drive the number 99 Onyx Homes/Renew Chevrolet. This is the first time this year that Daniel Suarez will run this paint scheme. And that is all the paint schemes for the Toyota Save My 350. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you next week for the Alley 400 at Nashville.